And we do have a story that, want to just put out there and ask some people to call in. So let us start with a video. We're going to start with this video. I want you guys to watch this. And, call us, 718-554-8598. Let us know what you think about it. Very interesting.
If you found out that a 30-something-year-old man was messing with your 14-year-old daughter, would you want him to get 30 years?
I don't wish jail time.
Okay. Would you
gotta question the mothers and the father. If you let a man, how can a 14-year-old man be? How can a 30-year-old man be around your daughter every day, and you're cool with it? Like you said, he was fucking who? Aaliyah and her mom.
Right.
It's consensual. And I'm pretty sure if he was fucking Aaliyah and her mom, he was fucking all them little ratchet moms and popping them off. But when your money run low, you gotta go.
If you found out.
All right. Let me just apologize for that. It wasn't edited, but in the words of Chin, when somebody is very passionate about what they're saying, sometimes we'll allow it to slide. So if it did offend anybody, we apologize for that. But, we're not going to jump too much into it. As you see, we don't have a lot of time. But he made a very valid point. He made a very valid point. And this is something that a lot of people have been saying. Like, if the mom gave access to her daughter, chances are she herself was in some kind of an arrangement. Can we say that? With R. Kelly. Do you guys believe that is so or not? Because it's definitely out there. It is trending. Or is it that it's just young girls he was into?
He said two things. He says it's consent and consent.
Mm-hmm.
A child cannot consent.
No.
All right. So it's one set of consent there, the parent. And it doesn't excuse him from being a grown man who know right from wrong.
Exactly.
So me not even see how the argument come in.
But here's the thing. Should she be culpable? Should she face some sort of...
Absolutely. All of the mothers need to.
And here's the thing. What does the law say? Obviously, it was legal if she give permission. If they give... There was no father in this whole scenario because people keep talking about the mother.
Absenteeism? Come on.
So the father was absent from the situation.
It has to be because there's no... I don't know any good father, that's going to do that. Like my dad, when my sisters were young... they couldn't walk too far. You understand what I'm saying? My younger sister's a grown woman, right? When my dad was alive, before he, when he was still lucid, before he succumbed. Every day, if she didn't come home, wherever she was, she told me a story that she told him she was someplace that she wasn't. And I don't know how he did it, he pulled up next to the car that she was in while she was on the road and pull her out the car. That's a grown woman. Look, so I can imagine any concerned father, 14 years old, you over which man yada do what?
So here's the thing though, and let us be honest and don't be hypocritical about it. When parents say, "Me no want you mix up with certain people," what about when this person now is somebody of status, somebody who has money, somebody who whatever? Isn't it that really and truly what they're saying is, me don't want you mix up with no worthless man. Right. But if the man has money and affluence and can help you and all of these things. Because remember, R. Kelly represented the future for Aaliyah.
Okay. Business.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Honestly, fathers would a father really think that way if it is a R. Kelly versus one boy down the lane?
Before public disclosure, I would agree with you. Before public disclosure.
Caller, please hold.
So before the first videotape, before the second videotape, before the third videotape, and all the controversy that came around R. Kelly, I would say, hey, But you're not spending the night. You're not spending weeks. You're not spending months. If there's a recording session, you have to be accompanied by somebody. Either me or your mother got to go.
So let me ask you, did all these controversies come up before the whole thing with him and Aaliyah?
No,
or after?
After.
So let's say they did.
situation.
So they didn't know. So
Right.
they didn't know about that.
Publicly.
Right. So does a father look at that to say, you know what, my daughter is going, is being, somehow courted, then put it that way. We're trying to find the best words to use here, by somebody who can help her, who is attractive, who has connections, who have money. So that's a good prize. I don't know. Would a father look at it that way? Or I'm just a say, my child is not ready. My 14-year-old is not ready for no man. Be very honest about it.
Like I said, if it depends on the individual again. So, why are you going around my daughter? Are you trying to date my daughter as a grown man? Or is there some kind of business? And if there's some kind of business, there has to be a chaperone. That chaperone is either, like I said, either going to be me, your mother, or a next concerned adult that can protect you from being exploited.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then we go back to reality, whereby in our black community, ain't no chaperone going to no studio with no young child. That is the ideal.
I don't
you
know.
understand?
I know people who do it.
People who chaperone them young kids to a studio?
To a studio, yeah.
Well, listen, I don't know, listen, and I'd love for the callers to chime in. We do have a caller on the line. Welcome.
Hi, morning,
Good
everyone.
How are you?
Morning, Mr. Edwards.
I'm great. Thanks for asking. Morning, Stacey, Sherry,
Yes.
Firearm, H. Diggy.
All right.
First question to you, H. Diggy. What is your definition of absenteeism?
Absentee, well, like when you go to school and the teacher's taking attendance and your seat is empty, that's absenteeism.
Consistently?
In the context of parenting, though,
You're not there. You're not there.
Okay.
You drop off a thing and you're going about your business. That's absenteeism.
All right, so let me give you the other side of that same definition.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Absenteeism is also when both parents are there but fail to do their job.
Absolutely right.
That's a good point.
All right, so people tend to speak of absenteeism in an abstract way, but both parents could be there, and if they're not parenting, the same problem will abound. No. I think it was Sherry asked the question, would a father be just as permissive, young little girl, a guy, he doesn't care. Men are very protective.
Yeah, I would think a man would be more.
Believe it or not, men is not going to play that stuff at all with their girl children. Most men won't.
Amen.
And I guess because men understand men, and they know that they're men who will take advantage of situations.
Amen.
So the perspective is a little different. But my final point, it doesn't matter how permissive the mothers would have been. There is something called a moral compass where a man should know that if a child is underage, regardless of what his fantasies are, regardless of how great the temptations are, you do not mess with children. Earlier on this morning, I think somebody in the studio mentioned about people being sympathetic and apologists for pedophile, and somebody made reference to Jamaica. Jamaicans don't like those kind of people. In fact, there's this one case a week ago. Guy was a Sunday school teacher, raped a 10-year-old girl, got 15 years. That happened 2 months ago in Jamaica. And everybody's asking, when him? I wish part him there. Because people want to exact their own form of justice. So no, we don't protect those kind of people. And to the point that you made with a 10-year-old girl that got pregnant earlier on, the question still remains, where are the guardians of that 10-year-old girl that was supposed to be there to make sure these things do not happen to children? Because make no mistakes, among us, there are people, men and women, who are waiting for an opportunity to violate a little child somewhere.
Amen.
As parents, we have to be eagle-eyed about this, and we have to be over-vigilant because you can't trust even the people you believe you can.
I have
You
a,
know,
I
Mr.
have a,
Edwards,
I have a question for you. Should these parents be charged?
Oh, absolutely. Watch this.
Ah,
If you are a parent and you are aware of wrongdoing perpetrated against any child, not just yours, you are culpable, you are complicit, and you should face equal judgment, in my opinion.
So I want to touch, and I totally agree with you on that. I want to touch on something that you said that in our culture in Jamaica that we don't uphold. We don't. Well,
No, you mess with a
or
child, it's a
defend.
problem. Yeah.
And you know what? I want to challenge you on that because we do have a culture.
yes.
I really want to challenge you on that. We
Every
do
time I
have a
hear that, I'm
culture
like, that's
of
not
where
our
it's
culture.
okay for grown men to be with a young little brownie,
No,
right?
but that's a total different story, with all due respect. If you're talking about 18-year-old upwards, all right, let's be clear here. An 18-year-old girl under the law, in fact, they say 16 in Jamaica, you can consent.
Right.
But an 18-year-old girl who wants to date a guy who is 65, and she's of sound mind, she has no cognitive impairment, she make a conscious decision that she wants to date a guy much older. I have absolutely no beef with that. That's not what I'm talking about here, to be clear. I'm talking about men who are, in my opinion, vultures going after kids, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's my argument.
Okay, so now I'm not necessarily saying the 9, 10, 11, but how about the 14, 15?
Yes, the 13,
That
the
is
14, yes.
16.
That is
That
a thing in Jamaica.
Underage
That
is
is
a problem.
quite prevalent
Yes.
in Jamaica, and it is endorsed by a lot of the parents,
Yeah.
specifically the single mother. There's a case that we spoke about on Monday night show, where even
Right.
on an institutional level, right, we're saying where this was a case where the principal took up for the teacher who beat the little boy with the baton, and he was fined and then brought back right into the school system the following Monday. That it's reminiscent of another case where a pastor, right? The pastor in St. Elizabeth had repeatedly raped 2 sisters and was given the family grocery to keep him having sex with them.
Yeah.
And when he went to court, he was supported by the principal of the all-girls school and of the school that the victims attended. So you know, it's like,
need I say more the same
Sure.
situation with in certain areas, depressed areas where they're giving up their kids to the Don. Yes, somebody might say, oh, because the Don might threaten or kill or whatever, but I'm just saying it's still the culture that's being represented in different spheres in a country. Auntie, I give up the kids them to, some man will live up in one big house somewhere in the village because he has money and they know this
Sherry,
is happening. So it happened in
make my-
Jamaica in different spheres.
I make my final comment because I know other people want to call, but here's what I'm going to say to you. All the examples you gave, you, Stacy, just gave about society, a certain segment of society who seems okay with men having sexual affair with underage girls. I promise you, that is not the general attitude of well-thinking Jamaicans.
We
That's
know that.
more an exception than the rule.
No,
think
it
so?
is not. Let me tell you, this thing is deep seated. They hide these
No,
things
no,
in
no.
family. Yes, there is. Listen, all right. I'm going to high school and I can count.
How many?
I can count how many girls, them uncle,
For
them
real. This is
father,
the truth.
them hiding it. This incest and rape of young
Okay, so we're
kids
talking about-
is happening
so we're
and they
talking
hide
about
it in
another
families.
situation.
And-
But Sherry, we're talking about incest now. That's a big old problem.
No, that's
Another
one of the
conversation.
things.
All day long.
Yeah.
I agree with you with that all day long.
So you're
Incest
saying for
is a
the
long-standing problem in Jamaica. Historically, it has been, and there's not been enough done about men and women too who are involved with these little girls. The court is soft on them.
boys.
I agree with you on that as well.
Okay.
But the culture, as a people,
Right.
we don't support it.
Right.
Believe when we
Right.
say that.
Right.
We don't.
Right. Now there are other cultures in where that's more acceptable.
acceptable when they
Right.
celebrate. I mean, you have tours like vacationing where men and
And women go to
go to
places.
places just because they know that
They can
they can get these
do
young
certain things.
these
It's
young- these
legal
young- and it's-
where they are for them
Yeah.
to do
I
that.
understand your separation of the incest, etc.,
Right.
versus the other type of sexual,
Predators.
Abuse.
Exploitation.
right.
Because, we're gonna
But
say
but
abuse.
I don't believe that it is not a culture. I think it's just a culture under the rug. People don't talk about it, which is why we're not
don't.
understanding the numbers. But I
I
cannot
think
be.
the numbers are
I
greater.
cannot. Yeah.
Listen, well, we sat in a room of 4 or 5 women. The 4 or 5 women, 4 or 5 of them could
Know
give
somebody
you,
who-
know
right.
somebody or experienced it themselves.
Yep.
Yes.
Know
Yep.
somebody
Yep.
intimately,
Right.
like
No.
very close to
Yeah,
them.
it's under the rug. But trust me.
I could have my father, if me know, so you I mess with a girl 10, 12, 13, so long as she's under the age, two things. You can't be my friend, I mean I report it to the police.
That's
All
right,
No,
which
I
is
know
right.
a film problem, but me now go know say you round the corner there with a
Yeah.
13-year-old girl, and me and you now go cool because by me being cool with you, which is what Stacy's saying,
You
a lot of
condoning
people know
it.
about them thing here, and them just say, well, I saw it go. No.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and in some cases though, you can't say nothing because if you live a West Kingston
Yeah.
or Majesty Garden, may I tell you, it's a total dynamics, but that's for another day.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Thank you so very
Thank
much.
you for
Wow.
smiling.
Big up
So-
yourself.
Wow.
yourself.
9:34.
I just want to piggyback and broaden this thing out. We talk about incest and sexual assault, and today we're saying females,
But it happens to
little
males.
boys
Yes,
go through the
more
same
and
thing.
more,
Yes.
more and more.
And not only when I'm talking about it, I'm not talking only about the male on male assault.
No, male, female.
I'm talking about
Yes.
these older women
Yes.
that take these little boys
Yep.
and traumatize that. I'm going to come, people like Diggy, I've been there, 7 years old.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? This was a grown woman
And
making
taking
me do
advantage of
things
that you don't want- yep.
and it jacked me up for years.
I was just having a conversation with some of my brethren them about the same thing, and them I said, "Yo, man, ooh, that's a big," and I'm like, "No, that's sick." I'm like, "You guys are thinking really crazy
bro,
right now."
that wasn't
It's
cool.
sick. So a big 30, 20-something-year-old woman messing around with a 7, 8, 9, 10. Come on, you and that's acceptable. Yeah, man. Oh. I'm like, you guys sound so
And
ignorant
you know,
right now.
and you know
sound
what?
so ignorant.
You know
right
what
now.
I think too? That is a part of the culture too, because
Yes.
they don't want nobody to say that you're idiot, you get things on here, yeah, boy picnic.
Yeah, but it's not
be a
cool.
man.
I'm
I
not
know what it
cool.
did. to
I
me.
know,
It
yeah.
made me uncomfortable being around older women because I always felt like
They
they're
were
gonna
gonna take
make
it,
me
make you
do
do something.
something.
It's funny.
Yes.
Right,
It's
right,
again,
right.
Mitch and myself, that was one of the things we talked about last week. Was
Right,
I am
right.
a man
No,
guy.
no.
People talk about, oh, Diggy, you've been through
And I will
everything.
applaud.
This is
no,
serious.
I applaud you for that, for saying that, for saying that. I didn't like that, and no, it messed me up.
It did.
Right.
It
It
changed
messed
the
me
way.
up.
I think I would have had a better male-female relationship. I would look at women differently.
Differently.
I would approach women differently
There you
if
go.
I was not abused in that way.